Chris, what's going on?
How are you, brother? Good to see you, man.
I'm good. Man, I'm super excited. I'm super excited to showcase what you have done in this villa.
I'm glad that you're here, and I want to show you around and really let everybody understand like what it is that we do, because it's not just buying a house and, you know, putting some upgrades in that. We really need to utilize the space. So I'm glad that we can explain that to you.
All right, amazing. Okay, so let's start by the kitchen right here.
Yeah, I mean, this is a perfect place to start. And the reason why is this used to be a small door here, and we've completely removed this wall and created this open space. Of course, a lot of European buyers that are moving to Dubai like the open space. So over on this side, we've sort of created the connectivity to the house right here, right? We did this beautiful island with the waterfall countertop leading into this living room, which is sort of your everyday living room. And the good thing about this, Meadows, is that you have two living rooms. So you have informal and formal living room. And so yeah, I mean, it's, I'm not sure your opinion, but I think it really flows well, yeah?
No, man, I mean, you know my opinion. I saw it 2 days ago and I was like, we need to shoot it. It's a must, like people need to see it. How about here? What's going on?
Yeah, this is the heart. Yeah, this is the heart of the house. So like, you know, we wanted to have a tree here. I've actually seen some people making this a dining room, but having the door right here and entering directly into a dining room seems very impractical in terms of privacy, right? So we wanted to, because we were actually backing onto the park, which we're going to see later on, we made sort of tree and greenery the theme of the house. So because it's in the middle, this becomes the heart. You can sort of see it from both sides of the house as soon as you enter. So that's sort of the idea here. And this used to be a courtyard. So this is a type 6. This whole area actually used to be outside. So we've extended the house completely from ground floor to first floor. So
I was gonna say, because I've been to other Meadows villas and it doesn't look that big.
yeah.
Right here it looks more spacious, more open. I don't know, I mean, you broke a lot of the walls here and you've changed a lot, you know?
Yeah, we've added a lot of built up area. It was a bit of a struggle with Emaar, but we managed to get close to 400 square feet extra in the house. So it's made a huge difference, I would say, yeah?
That's another thing I want to ask you when you mentioned the developer, because some people and some of my clients, they think it's easy to get, you know, any architect, let's say, or any supplier, if you want, a contractor to do the work. Can you explain to us like what's the hassle, what's the process?
Yeah, I mean, look, in the end of the day, we've changed everything. So if you want to get permission to like heighten the doors, widen the doors, change any sort of elements on the exterior facade, it's very complicated. You really need to have an architectural team and an engineer consultant that has very good relationships with the developer. Not only that, you also need to deal with the Dubai municipality, which is a completely different beast. So
Gotcha. All right, so I've seen that also you've changed some things there, like behind the kitchen in terms of bathroom, maid's room. Is that correct?
yeah, correct. So actually you couldn't see behind there, which we'll go in a second, but we, you know, just for space, we've added these pocket doors, which you've noticed upstairs as well too, just because the actual space in the bathroom is not that big. But because of that, we've actually utilized the maid's room and extended this bathroom later on, which you're going to see, and just increase the overall size. Now, as we go back into the kitchen, okay, you have this panel, which is built-in fridge and freezer, but then you have this extra sort of hidden door. And this is something that we use in villas in the Palm. You'll see them on houses that are 10, 20, 30 million dollars. So we really, you know, the colors and elements of the house is something that we would do in the Palm or on a very high-end house, yeah?
It's like a hidden Batcave in here.
Yeah, so you got your laundry room built in, side entrance, maid's room, which is a very generous size. And, you know, for us, you know, we have respect for everybody. And honestly, before the bathroom in the maid's room, the shower was like over top of the toilet. So it wasn't very nice.
Yeah.
So we've actually extended underneath the stairs and sunk it down, so there's still enough room for the height. And now there's like a real proper bathroom for your maid. I mean, most Europeans, especially too, the maid is not just a maid, it's like part of the family, right? So you want to have,
Exactly.
you know, so we basically thought about all these type of things when we were designing the house.
Also, you've kept a lot of natural light. That's very important. Right in here, even in this area. Okay, so I know that I don't want to skip a lot, but I wanted to ask you, because it's been all over social media, how much this villa was it sold at the end?
Look, let's wait to the end, because I think what people need to really realize is what goes into these houses.
Okay.
Like, you know, so let's go to the,
Let's continue.
yeah, so let's go into getting into this guest bedroom. So one typical mistake that people make is using like Dragon Mark, you know, PVC flooring, which is plastic, right? Now, when you actually have a house, a family home where someone's gonna live in, creating like the wood tones is one thing to create that warm element, but actually having real wood flooring creates that actual, element that someone wants to live in. And upstairs, when we go to the master as well with the carpet and the walk-in closet and stuff, we sort of created these elements so that way people can really live in this house. It doesn't look like we did it for business, right?
Exactly, and you can feel the warmth even with the colors, with the indirect colors, with the wood and everything. As you said,
Yeah.
it feels like a home. Yeah.
Now, as you come out of here, I'm gonna shut this door and I want you to really see the details there. I'm actually gonna close this. Now, we've done these hidden doors which has the reveal around it, so they're completely frameless. And if you go to actually look at the hinges, again, small details, this is all from Germany. So this frame system alone costs more than most people would put for the entire door system. So, and it's all hidden. So it's hidden actually into the frame and into the door, which creates this sort of hidden door and frameless feel for the door. So it's very modern styles, but in Meadows, which is why it was very easy for us to sell.
Yeah, and also something I want to add, it's really smart with the choices of the colors because it works with everyone, okay?
Correct.
So,
I mean, being neutral is very important. I think a lot of people make a mistake, taking the advice of the architect that, they want to do a little bit too much. People become Picasso, put a little bit too much of their taste.
some players want to add the theme or something.
Of course.
It doesn't really work.
It's nice, but in the end,
It's not for everyone.
it's not for everyone. Let's go upstairs.
Guys, wait till the end. We're gonna talk about numbers and prices.
So one interesting thing I like, again, this has been my baby, so I've sort of gone through everything. Now this door where we're going through now used to be on this side, and when we come out of the room, I'm going to show you that the landing area used to be completely useless because the door was in the middle of the landing and you couldn't actually use this space. And this was a closet in the middle of the, in the middle of the stairs. Like, why do you need a closet in the middle of the stairs? And now we all of a sudden use that extra space into the master. Now we have more room for the future wall. So we sort of like, small details that we've used.
It makes a lot of difference, yeah.
Increase now.
Yeah.
Just because we have this beautiful carpet, I'm gonna take off my shoes.
This is a very expensive carpet.
This is a bendo carpet.
So we can go with Chris so he can show you.
So this used to be only up to here, the walk-in closet, and further along was the bathroom. So obviously the space was not very good, but now as you can see, we created this beautiful showpiece of a walk-in closet that features places where you can put your shoes, places where you can feature your Birkin bags or whatever type of bag you select. And if you notice, you have this smoked glass. So we've sort of mimicked Polyform, which is an Italian brand for walk-in closets. And then for your messy stuff, we've created these doors that you cannot see through for all your stuff, your foldable things and stuff. So we sort of really, incorporated everything that you need into the walk-in closet space. And with the wood transition into the carpet here, you have that very homely feel, right?
Looks like an Emaar shop in here. I can look at it. It looks like a display in an Emaar shop.
And how we did that is we extended. So where our extension was downstairs, we've actually extended into the upstairs. So this used to be completely outside, and this now has become our master bathroom with his and her sink. We've used this travertine sink, and as you can see, we're gonna go through all the bathrooms are uniform. We've actually used two types of travertine. One sort of brown earthy tone, and then the other one is like an Italian gray. So very subtle differences that people wouldn't notice, but yeah.
Why did you select this exact villa to make the renovation and not any other villa?
Well, first of all, our portfolio is all about location. Obviously, real estate is location, location, location. Now here is backing onto the park. Now not only is this backing onto the park, where the DMCC building is exactly where the sunset is. So when you're sitting here at night, you have a spectacular view of the sunset. You're backing onto the park. It's super private. And it's just, this sort of fits into what we're trying to do, either golf course, lake facing or park facing villas, yeah?
I mean, Chris, I'm super amazed, to be honest. And I'm an interior architect, so it takes a lot to amaze me, okay? I want to ask you, how much time did it take to finish something like that? Because I think it's not going to be easy.
Look, you'd be very surprised. So from the time we got the permits, we were here for 5 months and 2 weeks. So it hasn't taken us very long. Luckily, again, we used all the right people. Our total process time was 8 months, and we're still finalizing some minor things, but total construction was just over 5 months.
So you're telling me that you bought it and finished the permits and renovation and everything as we see it and sold within 8 months.
Everything. Fully turnkey.
That's a world record, to be honest. So for something that didn't take that much time, I'm noticing that there's nothing I would change. Like I'm even looking at the smallest details, like here on the stairs, like the black strip and everything. I mean, it's not that easy to do something like that, you know?
So that's our value add. Besides finding the house, looking for location, making sure we're picking the right materials, we oversee the project from A to Z, from choosing all the right materials and colors to being here while they're finishing the execution. That's honestly the reason why. And honestly, our contractors are amazing. But again, we're in Dubai, so you're not using the same sort of skilled carpenters, and that's what you really need to be on top of it. Doesn't matter which contractor you're using. So that's why you've seen the last 3 months, I was here every single day making sure that everything was perfect and spotless throughout the entire house.
Just look at the corners, look at here, the knobs and everything, how straight, how clean it is all around. Even here, the strips and everything. You cannot find something that can. And I've seen everything.
I put a square, you know, just to make sure that every single wall. And by the way, there was a couple that were not straight. I made them take out the frame and completely redo it, because for me, it's about not just our investor making money and having a good product, but I also am caring about the family that's going to move into the house. I don't, it's a sort of like a recurring theme in all of our projects. We need to make sure that everyone wins in the real, not just the investor.
That's what you get when you get the right team and someone who cares about their own image also. That's what you get.
So let's go into the last bedroom. So again, you notice that everything is very earth tone. You have this natural wood flowing throughout. And honestly, it's all about collaboration as well. So we had a very good interior designer who's the wife of the construction company owner. So, it's very good collaboration. And then we used actually a styling company that I've known for many years. And they've actually styled the most expensive houses that have been ever sold in Al Barari, in Emirates Hills, in Palm Jumeirah. So, we create those collaborations as well because, they know also what is going to sell, and they also know what I'm looking for as well.
Correct. Something else about the details. If you look at the lights here, how do you know if the paint job is good or not when you shine some lights on it? And please have a look there. There's nothing wrong. So man, amazing work. Like super. Let's go to the pool. I want to see the pool.
Let's go.
Oh. So you're telling me that this is where I see the sunset right here on this pool?
Directly here. I mean, it's super nice. At night, you really need to see this house because we have thought of everything when it comes to light. Underneath that curb, you have an LED light strip. On that feature wall behind the sunbeds, you have light strip. You have wall-mounted lights. You have the Bose surround sound speaker. You have spotlights highlighting the trees, and our sky garden with the olive tree on the top also has a spotlight. So this place really lights up. You have the fireplace at the end as well too. Again, just important details because it's not just about the aesthetics. You need to make sure drainage is done properly. Like the execution is there, so long term, whoever buys the property is not going to have, maintenance or defects. Like for example, these are all weight mounted. So what that means is that you actually have sand inside the base of these sunbeds.
Okay.
So you're not actually fastening into the pool. Now, so I'm going to tell you how we even got this done pretty quickly. So now this swimming pool was actually cladded off-site, and they actually had a crane, which I'm going to show you later on, that dropped this right inside here. So instead of having someone come build the concrete, which is very good, by the way, this also comes with a 10-year warranty, and it takes half the time to do it. So we honestly, the landscape team, they were in and out super quickly.
Super clean, man. Super clean. Super nice. I even noticed the speakers that you have here.
Yeah, you have Bose surround sound speakers. Also inside, you have the automation system. You have the Nest system to control all the air conditioning. There's this Bali style with the fans. You have a built-in Italian barbecue from Baretti. You have built-in fridge and freezer in the back here. You have outdoor water, pizza ovens coming. So you have everything outside. It's like a full-fledged outdoor kitchen, right? So you can really entertain here. Now, one important thing too is Emaar didn't think of this, and it's quite old, but this used to be your entrance into the backyard. Now, your guest, if you had guests coming, would have to go through your garage, which absolutely makes no sense. So what we've done, actually, we're gonna go to the other side of the house now. We've actually completely changed the entrance. So that's now become the staffing entrance for food delivery or coming in from the garage.
Okay.
And then on this side, which used to be dead space, we've created this beautiful pathway. And if you notice, we have floor lighting all the way through the back and through the steps. And we actually broke this wall and created this entrance gate onto this side.
Yeah.
So now you're
just from one side to the other.
correct. Now you have sort of both sides, that sort of staff, and now this is where your guests will come in.
Okay.
And if I know we want to get out of the heat, but one more important element is, I'm not sure if you see it at the front, but behind this gate here, we put a beautiful bonsai tree, which is also lights up in the nighttime. So when your guests are coming, it's sort of a little show-off piece, you know what I mean? So you're walking in from this side,
Oh, nice.
and you got the beautiful bonsai tree. And the final element, so imagine we've sold the house, it's not even finished, and the final element is that we're gonna have a beautiful tinted glass window and tinted glass door here, so your guests can see your beautiful cars as they're walking in. And we have air conditioning coming too, so this will be fully AC'd for your cars. A lot of people that have expensive cars, they don't want it to get the Dubai heat. So we've sort of, we've thought about all the different things that needed to be done when it comes to selling, a $4 million house.
Exactly. Speaking about numbers, let's go inside because I have a lot of questions about cost, prices, all the...
I'll see if I can answer them.
So Chris, let's talk about some details. Like for example, let's say I'm an investor and I want to be involved in whatever you're doing here.
Yeah.
Okay, how can I do it?
Yeah, great. So, that's a good question. What we do is full turnkey. So what we try to do is save the guesswork and do everything for the investor. So down to data collection, doing feasibility, bringing our engineer and our team here to make sure my crazy ideas can actually happen, and then creating a preliminary budget that always is above and beyond how much it's going to cost us. Because the worst thing that you can do is underestimate a project. There's always hidden stuff that you're not going to notice. I'll give you a good example of that. This whole extension, when you do an extension with Emaar, you need to do a pressure test. So you actually take a piece of the concrete, send it to a lab, and if the structural integrity is not good enough, then you need to then re-pour the concrete for the slab with rebar. And then when you install the rebar, which is the steel bars connecting in, obviously, which as an engineer, connecting into the existing slab, you need to do 3 pull tests. So Emaar will come do a pull test to make sure that the initial is done. When you actually pour the slab, they'll come again, and when it's dry, they come again. So you do 3 pull tests and 1 lab test. So
that's why you need an expert, because I just learned about this right now. Just now.
So again, I know I like to get into the details. So that's the guesswork that we take out. So once we identify a deal onto the market, we do full feasibility report. We have manual labor of people going into all the areas in Dubai and making a spreadsheet of every single house that's under construction and the contractors that are behind it, because we have an idea, of course, who the good contractors are, so we can identify our competition. And then we compare those numbers to DXB Interact and Property Monitor of the last 12 months of transactions, and that's how we know what's oversupplied, what's undersupplied. So that's how we sort of get into, that's information as an investor we can extend for us.
Who chooses the actual property, like yourself?
Yeah, look, it's our team collectively with our investor, right? But in the end, numbers are what makes sense, right? If everything makes sense, then we're just gonna, and I don't care about the area. What I care about in areas is the demand, what's the supply, how much profit are we gonna make? And if all those things add up, then in the end, the investor, you as an investor, you just wanna make money, right?
Correct.
So how you get involved is essentially you come to us, you let us do all the groundwork for you, and then we basically identify your budget. Now, depending on your budget, because there's different entry points, like I'll be honest with you and say, maybe you have a lower budget. Let's talk numbers. Maybe your budget's only 5 million, for an example, right? And you don't want to take a mortgage.
Correct.
In that case, there's really nothing to buy. Unfortunately, at this price point, that's more profitable than maybe 8 to 10%.
Can't I do it with another investor, like as a group?
Correct. So we have partnered with a few different companies that are funds that will actually do a joint venture with you. whereas they can either buy the property or you can buy the property, and the rest of the funds will then get deployed into your project, so we can actually get into a profitable project, right?
I mean, the more they pay, the more I gain at the end. Yeah, makes sense.
Exactly. So, and again, we take care from A to Z. So from the time we find a deal, from the time we deploy the capital, we are basically buying the property, designing the property, getting the permits, project managing the project, networking with all the brokers in the area, and making sure it sells quickly. One thing that we do not do, which is typical, brokers and agents in any country in the world, is we're not worried about if we're gonna sell the project directly after when it's finished. All I care about is getting in, getting out as quick as possible, so that way we can deploy the money into another project, because time versus money. A lot of people, what they think is, well, if I wait a little longer, I'm going to get a higher offer. And to be very honest with you might get another offer, but how long is it going to take, right? So if we can get in and out at a comfortable profit margin, then we can get into another project quickly.
Correct. Yeah. There's something very important also, like when you want to work with someone on such a big renovation, you have to check their portfolio, right? And this is what Chris is known for, his portfolio, because he works in areas like Jumeirah Golf Estates, like Meadows, like the Palm, like Emirates says, the big villas, the big luxurious villas. And as you see, you can tell, when you see the quality, when you see you can feel it. When we enter the door, you can feel that it's different. It's not like something you've seen before. Now, the most important thing, money. What's the cost?
Before we actually get into that,
okay,
I want to just mention one more thing. What I feel like is very important is that the market is crazy right now in terms of pricing. Like, everyone thinks maybe it's smoking mirrors, but Dubai is literally on fire right now. So to buy a house that we can actually make money on is very complicated. Like we cannot find opportunities.
Let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Why are you focused? I know why, but just tell them, why are you focused on villas and not apartments?
Well, villas, for me, it's just experience. Like, I don't know anything about apartments, and I will not touch anything that's not my forte.
Respectful.
So I'm sure there's money in apartments, but I'll leave that to the people that have that niche, yeah? So again, let's get back into it. Most important thing that you need to think about in today's market is your fit out, your design, your material, and execution, because Europeans are coming here and most of them have 3, 4, 5 houses. So when they come, they understand materials, finishing, and if the house is like looking like one of the rental houses that they have back in the UK or somewhere else, they're not going to spend $3-4 million on the house. So I would highly recommend that people focus on the fit out and the quality and the contractors they select. In case they don't want to use our service, that's our advice, is use the right contractor, use the right material, because that's what's going to separate and make your house liquid in any market, whether it's good or not as good.
Something else that I've noticed is some people think that renovation is buying a house and then putting some furniture. Yes, the last thing you have to think about. So, and I've seen it a lot in apartments, not in villas, where they label it as fully renovated. It's not, it's just furnished, it's not renovated.
Yeah, and one thing that we do is we strip everything back to shell and core, back to the block work, every air conditioning, ductwork, plumbing, AC, all the DBs. There's nothing original in this house except for the bones of this house. So again, when I say fully renovated turnkey, it's not just we made it look pretty and put lipstick on the house and cladded it. It literally everything, and it comes with all the warranties from the manufacturers and from ourselves. Like post handover, you get 1 year, whether it's small cracks, some minor deficiencies, like it comes with the house, right?
Amazing. Numbers, money.
All right, it's fine. Okay, fine. Let's talk about it now. We bought this house for around 8.8 million last September. We spent roughly around 3 million. And thank God we sold it for 16.35 just at handover. So the margins were just shy of 30%, which obviously is very good. And again, it was a learning experience. We've never done Meadows, but I think if we'd done it again, we probably would even make more money, to be fair.
Exactly. And something else, like, do you try to get the best price when buying a villa?
Yeah, no, actually, actually I'm focused on location. So obviously we don't want to overpay or a location, but actually at the time, this was one of the most expensive houses in the area.
Okay.
But like the one, for example, there was another one that we could have bought for 8 million in Meadows 1, but it was backing onto the road. And there was another back-to-back unit that was 8.3, and we spent an extra $500,000 to buy this one on the park, because I know, like,
so much worth it.
It's definitely.
We saw it outside. So much worth it. Does that have a bang away? Amazing. And yeah, you've done a beautiful job, and please get in touch, okay, to learn how you can get involved. Also, even if, let's say, you don't have a capital of 8 million, 10 million, 20 million, you can still get in, right, as a group of investors, and you can benefit from something very rare than something that you don't see every day in Dubai. Chris, thank you so much.
See you.